what's up, guys? It's yeah, we're back again. So, and it's time this time. This time it's time. We're yeah, you heard me say how like I'm over it now. I'm over the whole leads thing and all this. So just trust me. But after you watch this, you're gonna know. You're gonna just trust me on this. After everything, I'll tell you now. After you can watch all this stuff like I have. I've watched so much stuff, man. Everyone else has watched all this stuff. Trust me. When you put it like this, this is it. This is going to help you understand real easy. It's going to help you understand. And so just yeah. So and as it goes forward, it's going to get to a point where it gets kind of like it gets pretty dark and stuff. But we all know how it always what I've been trying to show you and stuff. It always leads back to what they worship in this performance stuff and Lucifer and it always it always leads back to that. So this intro will always be the same. It's going to be the same. It'll be in 2 parts, so there'll be 2 episodes per thing. This intro will be the same on each one until it might change depending as we go. If you know what I mean. So yeah, just let me know. Yeah. So if it's up to it's up to you if you want to go beyond that. But I'll tell you. It'll change, and I'll tell you. So if you don't want to watch it beyond that, because the truth can be hard to take. That's one of the hardest things, letting go of what the pretend ass world we've been given. You know what I mean? And okay, so nextly, just remember this is not mine. So it's not mine. It's from another channel, and it's only a small channel. So for now, I'm just going to swap it over to here, and then we'll sort that out. We'll sort that out later. We'll sort that out later. But yeah, anyway, just think about so anyway, we'll just get into it. Well, just think about this logically, guys. Just think like, don't worry about everything you've been taught. Just use your own eyes and mind. That's what it's about. That's what I've been trying to tell you guys. So just really think about what you're gonna see, and there's a bit just so because I'm telling you, man, it's huge, so complex. There's so many things you can understand. Let's just do it. Let's just do it, guys. Ready? All right, let's do this. I need you guys to watch this stuff. Trust me. All right. Okay.
Before I jump into this first video, I want to make mention of the fact that I'm a little bit nervous to do this series. There are many things that Brian and I have never said publicly or on our sites. So I'm going to go ahead with it anyway, but I just wanted to make note of that we are a little bit nervous about putting this series out there. Now, I want to warn you, if you have had a hard time accepting and processing the information you've learned about your world already, you might want to reconsider watching this series, as it has a lot of harsh truths about you, your reality, and where you came from. So here is part 1 in the Masters and the Controllers. The truth about the Masters and Controllers is a very large topic with numerous aspects to cover. To give you a full understanding of the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Creating this series could be likened to creating a spider web. There are numerous lines that intersect and connect, bringing you to a central point. The only way to attempt this is to start at one of these points, jump from one to another, and circle around until the entire web comes into view. By the end of this series, you will understand the entire strategy of the Masters and Controllers. You will understand the role secret societies play. We will reveal the pyramid structure, where the Masters, different level controllers, and the minions all have their place. Depending on where they fall, their motivations and goals will be different. You will see why each level does everything they do. You may not always agree with what they do and how they go about it, but you will understand it. I will tear down the illusion created by their system of deception. Part of that is exploring esotericism and revealing the purpose of the belief systems they condition us with and why. The number one goal of the very top level controllers: ensure survival of the human race.
Shape them. Out of danger.
Yes.
Don't grieve, Admiral. It is logical. The needs of the many outweigh
The needs of the few.
or the one.
But hide the existence of the catastrophes. Everything that is done is about keeping people in the system, diverting attention, and hiding the catastrophe's existence. We will begin with the revelation. Revelation, noun, a surprising and previously unknown fact, especially one that is made known in a dramatic way. Something revealed or disclosed, especially a striking disclosure, as something not before realized. Knowledge is power. There are those who know secrets about our world that we, the slaves, do not. One of the biggest is the reoccurring catastrophe. They, the Masters and the top-level controllers, live by survival of the fittest. By keeping this secret, they have a tremendous advantage of power, control, and survival over the rest. And by carrying on this hidden knowledge, they can also ensure the survival of the human race.
It was originally the task of each member of the order to be a compendium of all knowledge, all known knowledge. That was the reason for the long term of training. If humanity was totally wiped out, except for one individual, he should be capable of re-establishing everything from his own resources. The order, of which I may be the last member, by tradition came into existence after the last great cataclysm or catastrophe which affected the world. Now, with these great and terrible impacts on the earth by great electrical storms being caught up in the tails of meteors or showers of meteorites, Civilization as we know it was totally destroyed.
The MCO is the secret above all secrets. When you look at the world through the lens of the ultimate goal being to hide the MCO, everything becomes clear. When you know that MCOs do happen, you can use logic to understand the reasons why they would hide it. Can you imagine what people would do if they found out? It would be chaos. Why hide it? For this simple reason. After each MCO, they need to build civilization and technology as quickly as possible. Civilization would not be able to be built nor held together if people knew the truth. You can't rebuild without the slaves. If the slaves knew the truth about their world and about the intermittent and unpredictable timing of the reoccurring catastrophes, they would not be so concerned with the future, nor unwittingly work towards the controller's main goals. If they knew it could happen at any year, they wouldn't participate in all the meaningless things the controllers condition them into thinking are important. The controllers are not only in a race against time to build necessary technology before the next MCO. To survive, they need to get to their bunkers before society collapses. However, they must stay in society as long as possible because they can only store a finite amount of supplies. But now we are in the time where everything is being revealed, for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. Why are we in the revelation now, and what is it? One part of the revelation comes from the natural process of the visible events before, during, and after the MCO. It is when the changes from the catastrophe process become visible. That is happening now. The other part comes from the controllers themselves. The controllers need slaves to survive the MCO, to do the work and rebuild again, but they also need the majority to be sleeping slaves, to do the work during the intervals in between. So for long periods in between MCOs, they keep people distracted and the secret well hidden. But because they will need some to survive, they have to put the truth out there. They have been slowly revealing the truth for years, telling the truth in the midst of lies, for few to decipher, to slowly wake some out of their sleep. Who are they hoping will pick up on the clues? People like you and me. But why leave clues instead of just coming out with the truth? It can never come directly from them after eons of deception. A mass announcement would cause rebellion, shock, anger, and chaos. A slow series of clues over time is their only option, to slowly wake some from their sleep without causing the entire system to crumble. The truth is always presented, even in the midst of the lies. They contradict their own model, their own stories, are sometimes purposefully sloppy to make the truth obvious for thinking human beings. They could care less about the sleeping, brain-dead zombies that can't think for themselves. The ones who will survive are those smart enough to see through the illusion and strong enough to do what it takes. The truth is, they count on there being those who can get close to the truth. But they fear not, because they know that they've done such a magnificent job creating the illusion that even people who figure it out will never be able to wake the sleeping masses. The closer we get to the MCO, more is revealed. The more blatant the clues become. They are counting on some to pick up on those breadcrumbs they purposefully drop. They know that most will not survive the MCO. When breeding domesticated animals, you keep the best and discard the rest. They have no desire to bring those deep sleeping slaves who cannot think for themselves into the next sky. This is the real reason they put the truth out there. It is not fear of karma or a spiritual requirement or any other reason. It's so that some can put together the puzzle pieces to realize the truth, and then survive. The revelation only happens right before an MCO. That should tell you how close they know we are. Who are the controllers and the masters? The best analogy to explain who we are, who the controllers are, and the role they play is the border collie analogy. The controllers are the border collies. The border collie's job is to herd the sheep and keep them in line for the shepherd. Our masters are the shepherds. That means, of course, yes, that we are the sheep. Sorry to tell you this, but we are domesticated animals, property of our masters. We not only have value financially for the controllers, but it goes much, much deeper than that. When you come to this realization, though hard to swallow, why should this give some comfort? Because it rolls out the myth perpetuated in the truther world that through depopulation, they are trying to kill us. You have no idea how deep the truther deception really is. If the border collie started killing the sheep, the border collie would be taken out and shot. The border collie can bark, growl, and nip to scare the sheep, but it knows its role and does its job. Though driving the herd with fear, the border collie is obedient to his master. Why is truth in music so important, and why have I dedicated a page to that? Because it's all written in code, and once you start to see, the answers are there, right before your very eyes. One way they control and leave clues to those with eyes to see and ears to hear is through music and movies. Let's take a look at this song from Barry Manilow with our new set of eyes. I've been alive forever, and I wrote the very first song. I put the words and the melodies together. I am music, and I write the songs. I write the songs that make the whole world sing. I write the songs of love and special things. I write the songs that make the young girls cry. I write the songs, I write the songs. My home lies deep within you, and I've got my own place in your soul. Now when I look out through your eyes, I'm young again, even though I'm very old. Oh, my music makes you dance and gives you spirit to take a chance. And I wrote some rock and roll so you can move. Music fills your heart. Well, that's a real fine place to start. It's from me, it's for you. It's from you, it's for me. It's a worldwide symphony. I write the songs that make the whole world sing. I write the songs of love and special things. I write the songs that make the young girls cry. I write the songs, I write the songs. I am music, and I write the songs. It isn't Barry Manilow writing this song, or any other song, and it isn't any of those artists who claim credit for any songs you know. Let's watch a clip from Under the Silver Lake that tells you about 90% of the truth.
Go inside.
You wrote the song Turning Teeth for Jesus and the Brides of Dracula, and the codes and the music. I found the tunnels and the bomb shelter.
Okay.
So what does it all mean?
Come and sit down. Here.
Is that Kurt Cobain's Fender Mustang guitar?
Oh, I don't know. Probably. I don't remember. I have so many things.
Can I pick it up?
Well, I don't always worry what the message is. I just pass it along. I slip it between the notes, hide it away from people that know it's there.
You're saying you've done this before? Codes?
I wrote the music your dad grew up to. Half of what you sang along to as a kid, and I'm still doing it. And these teenagers are dancing to my music. I want it that way. Tell me why.
You're telling me there's hidden messages in old pop songs?
Movies, television shows, everything you know.
Why?
That's pop culture, isn't it? Floats away like tissue paper. Yeah, I blow my nose. I find a used Kleenex, I recycle it, and there is your wedding song. Here it comes. I want to know what love is. And I want you to show me.
What are the tunnels for? Is there gonna be a war?
Oh, hell, I don't know. I'm just trying to make a living, earn a few dollars.
Well, you have everything.
No.
You know this girl? You know this girl?
Well, isn't she pretty? Earth angel, earth angel.
She was killed,
Oh, won't you be mine? Wow,
along with Jefferson Sevens, but I think you already knew that. No?
no, I did not. I don't care what's fashionable or cool. It's all silly and it's all meaningless. I created so many of the things that you care about. The songs that give your life purpose and joy. When you were 15 and rebelling, you were rebelling to my music. Uh-oh. That's one you know. That song was not written on distorted guitar. No. I wrote it here on piano somewhere between a blowjob and an omelet. There is no rebellion. There's only me earning a paycheck.
I don't believe you.
Well, good, because the real message was not meant for you. So it's better if you just smile and you dance and you enjoy the melody. Because this ugly old man, me, I am the voice of your generation. Your grandparents, your parents, and all the young people that follow you. I love rock and roll. Drop another dime in the jukebox, baby. Oh, look at you. Everything that you hoped for, that you dreamed about being a part of, is a fabrication. Your art, your writing, your culture is the shell of other men's ambitions, ambitions beyond what you will ever understand.
That's funny to you.
Well, it's a little bit funny, don't you think? Because I wrote this, and I wrote this, and I wrote this,
Stop it.
and I wrote this too.
Stop it! Who's paying you to write these songs? Who's paying you to write these songs?
By the end of this series, I will have provided evidence and proof for every statement that I make in this series. Stay tuned for part 2 of the Masters and Controllers. Everybody stay safe, be good to one another, and God bless. Hey guys, thanks for watching miasnewpairofglasses.com and welcome to part 2. It's all connected of the Masters and Controllers series. Now in this video, as well as other videos, I will make statements that I will expand on in a separate future video. But for the purpose of this video and keeping the length manageable, we are only going to focus on proving a single topic. First, to go any further into this series, one of the most important things I must show you is the purpose of movies and television. I have to draw the connection so you understand that Hollywood, governments, everything in the private sector of business, and the people above those who control the world are all one entity working together for the same agenda. The world is not what you think. We really live in a caste system. Contrary to what you have been led to believe, you cannot be anything you wish. For example, like start a company to become a millionaire, or because you are talented and work hard, invent something to become rich, like what they show on the TV show Shark Tank. All of these reality shows are 100% scripted with 100% actors on TV to serve the purpose of creating the false illusion that just anybody can become rich and famous if they work hard. Not just anybody becomes famous or rich, and certainly not just anybody becomes a movie director. You can only get as far as they allow you to get, and there is a high cost to anyone who does, quote, make it. To control a population, the methods used are with the carrot or by the stick. They realized that you get more production out of people with less resistance by using the carrot method. All you need to do is create false hope by creating a world where people believe that they can get out of the class they are in by working hard so they can do or be anything. Then they reinforce those false beliefs, creating a desire for money and wealth by glamorizing the world of material wealth. Then they don't need to force people into slavery. They manipulate them into it. And when the carrot method doesn't work, then they use the stick. We call that the penal system. TV and movies play the biggest part in creating those false hopes. In this video, I will point out a select few directors and movies, but this is not just some movies and some directors. It is all of them, big budget to small and independent films. Not just anyone gets to make movies. You must be, quote, in the club. There is a reason why movies are only made out of 2 places in the world: Hollywood, California, for the Western world, and Bollywood in India for the 1.339 billion people that live there. To become a director, you are either groomed into the club from a young age, entered through blood relations, or you are willing to sell your soul and make the type of movies they want with what they want in it, with their symbolism and pushing their agendas. When that many eyes are on something, nothing is left to chance. So I'm going to assume, if you are here, that everyone knows the moon landing was fake. This is an important fact to understand for the topics we're going to discuss now. Stanley Kubrick, a film director, was deep in the club. He directed movies like 2001: Space Odyssey, The Shining, and Eyes Wide Shut. Movies are generally completed well before their release date to the public. The movie 2001: Space Odyssey, directed by Stanley Kubrick, was released to the public on April 3rd, 1968, which means it was completed and reviewed by the controllers well before that date. So this movie was completed at least 2 years before the first reported moon landing. and that moon landing being on July 20th of 1969. What the purpose of this movie was it was Stanley Kubrick's audition to show that he could successfully pull off the fake moon landing, and people would think it believable. It was the first space movie with realistic special effects. They always study the screening audience's reactions to films, and in this case, to see if people felt that this was realistic enough and it matched their expectations of what space would look like. That is how they knew they could pull it off, and Kubrick was hired for the job. Now, where did they get the footage they used for the terrain of the moon in 2001 Space Odyssey and the faked moon landing? The Nevada desert, or more specifically, Area 51 in the Nevada desert. If you go on Google Maps and look at the terrain in the area, you will see the craters they blew up on that land to simulate the craters on the moon. There clearly will be some differences due to it being over 50 years ago since they blew up those craters. However, they are still all there, and that is the real reason they don't want anyone near Area 51. It's not because aliens are there. It's because they don't want people out there and making the connection that that is where the moon landing was really filmed. The Shining, directed by Stanley Kubrick, was released to the public on May 23rd of 1980. Kubrick obviously had a crisis of conscience and placed very subtle clues in the movie to say that he directed the moon landing and that it was fake. There is a lot of symbolism in the movie, but just to point out a few: the sun wearing an Apollo 11 sweater, and the carpet in that scene modeled after NASA's hexagonal launch pads, and finally, on the wall, do you notice the same thing I did? Rockets in the pattern of the wall design. Later on, Kubrick directed the movie Eyes Wide Shut, where he stepped over the line and revealed too much about secret societies. This movie was released to the public on July 16th of 1999. Kubrick died on March 7th, 1999, before the movie was even released to the public. Does anyone remember the significance of March 7th? If you refer to Brian's video in the Sun series, where he shows that in one catastrophe scenario, 260 days from the day the sun continues to go north after summer solstice, the date the sun or blue star completely goes out falls on March 7th. All dates have meaning, and because Kubrick said too much in his movies, he stepped over the line. He was used as a ritual sacrifice on a very important date to the controllers. What are the chances? To condition people with the belief in space, many movies and TV shows have been aired over the years. They tell the truth and reveal how a fake space landing can be done in the movie Capricorn 1, released on May 2nd, 1978, where they film a fake Mars landing. They even go into detail showing how they cover it up, how they get rid of the evidence, and how they keep people in the dark due to compartmentalization, which is a topic I also covered in my SpaceX Deception series. What is the best way to throw the truth in asleep people's faces, leave clues for some like us, yet discredit public claims of faked space missions? Put it in a movie, so anyone you tell says to you, "Oh, you got that from a movie." Types of productions, like Star Wars and Star Trek, just to name two of the big ones, are the main tools used to reinforce the heliocentric model and make people believe in space. Just think, if you'd never seen a space movie, would you be able to imagine what their version of space looks like? these aren't the only movies that contributed to the public's belief in space. Eugene Roddenberry, a patron saint of the controllers, was an American television screenwriter, producer, and creator of the original Star Trek television series and its first spin-off, The Next Generation. What is his connection to NASA? Hubble Space Telescope images have been used on Star Trek Voyager, and, quote, in recognition of the way Star Trek inspired people around the globe, NASA awarded its Distinguished Public Service Medal posthumously to Gene Roddenberry, the show's founding producer. Take a listen to this quote. Gene Roddenberry's creative genius opened the imaginations of hundreds of millions to the fact that the remarkable achievements of NASA are only the first step in an advancing technology that will carry humankind away from humanity's birthplace and out to the stars, perhaps to join the even larger and more diverse community of intelligent life in the cosmos. Hugh Downs and Robert Jastrow, letter to NASA Administrator Dan Golden, September 24, 1992. What they are really saying is that Gene Roddenberry's work was one of the most significant contributing factors to exposing the public, young and old, to the idea of space and why most grew up believing in it. And because he played such a huge role in that effort, they always find ways to memorialize him, even reportedly sending his ashes to space, which I touched on in my SpaceX Deception series, that his ashes never reached space because space doesn't exist. Now do you see how it all weaves together? Movies and shows are not just entertainment, and not just anyone can make a movie about anything they want. Not just anyone can become a director. Everything you see is controlled and used to create the illusion of our world. They all work as one entity. There is no separation. Space is not the only agenda that movies have been used for. I will go further into some of these topics in future videos. That's all I have for you guys today. Everybody stay safe, be good to one another, and God bless.